Hi there, friends. Barb Pass, going to paint for you tonight, painting on a 5x7 panel. I recently found a channel on YouTube. I'll try to remember to put the link to their page in the description. It's this wonderful couple that bought this house that's like 200 years old, and they've been restoring it. I mean, really rough. And they have they're so cute and positive and such hardworking people. And they have like a little farm, and they keep acquiring more animals, I think. They have goats and chickens, and there's a big goose, and recently they bought a couple baby, I think they're geese, not ducks. So they gave me permission to take some screenshots of some of their animals, and I have done some of that. The name of the channel is Do and Be Different Family. Do and Be Different Family. Really cute. I subscribe to it. Again, I'll try to remember to link them below, but I want to give them credit for this. It's not the photo I took. Obviously, it's all videos, so I kept stopping it, and this is a screenshot I took. Isn't that the cutest thing? Feet are tucked in the grass. I extended the top of it. I'm not going to put him that close to the top, so we'll keep that in mind. His little wings out, and he's wet. Isn't that cute? So we're going to sketch him on with pencil, because I'll tell you, part of my thought process with that is I want to keep it pretty clean. It's yellow, and you want to keep your yellows as clean as possible. Like I said, I've mentioned that before. I've heard it said that if you have yellow in a painting, it's a good idea to start with yellow. So that's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm not going to use paint to sketch him in. And wanted to mention again that I've been playing with the camera angle. I have you pretty much in front of it. I'm off to the right a little bit so you can get a better view. So hoping that's working better and you're enjoying that more. Pardon me, got something going on with my throat here. So again, we'll be bringing him down from the top a little bit, maybe about in there. So we're going to sketch him on, and I may even, I don't know if I'll bother to do that or not, but I will suggest this to you as a way to help you sketch an image on, is when you think you've got it, you can flip your image upside down and flip your canvas upside down and take a look at it that way too, to help you get your proportions right. That can be helpful too. So, all right, I'm going to look at whatever I can look at here on him as I sketch him to help me. Like the forehead goes down to about there. You know, he's not a multicolored animal, so it's a little trickier to sketch him. The little beak I'll have to really study to get right. I got this image. I'll show you a couple of the others here. I got the two of them. See, I could crop into that. Look at this wonderful one. We may do this at some point, and I don't know how I'll crop it, but look at the light in that. Isn't that wonderful? So that's another one I got from their page. All right. And a lot of times I sketch this way. I don't know if I've shown you that before. I do a lot of faces, and I typically work this way. The thought, and I picked this up from Dan Nelson, who's a wonderful artist on YouTube. He has a channel too. You might check him out. The thought process behind this is, instead of pinching down on the pencil and getting really tight, which you do need to do that sometimes, but this kind of keeps you back on the pencil, and you tend to use your whole wrist more. So something to try if you've never done that. So I'm trying to look at the little beak, and then I'll look at from the edge of the beak over to the edge of the head, see how much distance. It's about like that. Same thing on this side. He's got a nice rim light around him too. I love it when you got nice light. And then where the beak ends, down under the chin is about that much space. You know, look for whatever landmarks you can get to help you. Like I said, it's a lot easier with a multicolored animal. Okay, I think the neck's about that long. And some of these hairs that are sticking out, once the background's in, we'll have to go back and put those in. These little fine hairs. Isn't he the cutest thing? Oh my gosh. I love YouTube. If you watch me and you don't subscribe, please subscribe to me for one thing, and consider doing it anyway. I mean, it's such a great resource of, if you're an artist or if you're not, I mean, there's something for everybody, I'll tell you. I just love it. And if you're an artist and you get on here, you probably know that, and you start watching, find a channel you like, I mean, then they just keep suggesting more and more stuff for you to watch. I just can't imagine why you wouldn't be on here. It's free. There's some dark marks, so I'm looking for these little dark marks, anything I can find to help me, you know, get his proportions right. I don't know if I'll turn him upside down. Typically I might, to check things. We'll see. And we can't see his feet. All we see is his little orange legs because he's in the grass. Lots and lots of grass sticking up. And he's kind of got a shadow, as he would have, because he's backlit. And again, on my iPad, I can go to edit. I can go to edit, and if you hit this, which would crop it, you can then go up here at the top and flip it upside down like that, okay? I'm going to take a minute and we'll do that, you know. So then I'm saving the photo upside down. This is really no thing with you having you so close here. It's really crowded, but we're learning to work with it. You know, I want it to be a good view for you. I got a clip here on the top of this thing. Let me get this off. I don't use it, but it hangs on here. This is a thing I got one time in a packet in a gift exchange. See, it clips on. So you can, if you paint from a photo, an actual photograph, you could put your photo in this end and clip it on. So, flexible arm. Like I said, I just basically kind of store it up there. I haven't really used it because I paint from my iPad all the time, but it might be something you find useful. All right, so let's look at the little guy, see how my proportions look. He might be a little short. Just doesn't hurt to do that, you know, whatever you can use to help yourself. So we'll go back to edit again and we'll flip him back over. And we'll save it that way. All right, now we're going to flip this back around. I like to flip a painting over if you're doing like things that, like bottles and jars and things that you need to be symmetrical. I think it's very helpful. All right, so there he is. And we'll have to think about how we want to handle the background. It's obviously just green grass. Like I said, the shadow kind of runs up this way. And that wonderful, you know, rim, that backlight, some of that will maybe go on after the background's painted in, so we keep it clean. All right, so let's start off, and we're going to mix up some yellow. I emptied out a white tube of paints. I got a lot of white on my palette knife. So what we'll do is try to, like I do this often, I try to get like 3 values. Obviously some of this is going to be very, very light, that rim light. So that will probably just be white and yellow. So I'm just doing some of that right now. So it's pretty and clean, just yellow and white. And under here where he's in the shadow, that's going to be darker, of course, and cooler. So when we mix blue into that, obviously we're going to get green. And then I'm going to warm it up a little bit. I don't really want it to be, even though some green isn't bad at all, but I'm going to warm it up with a little crimson. Haven't talked to you since I did the event last weekend. It was a beautiful weekend, and it was a cool place to be. It was in a park, and it was a little village of old homes. There was a train station and a church and an old school. It was a very cute place to be, and I'm hoping they do it again next year, because I would do it again. I didn't win anything, unfortunately, and there were like just a couple sales, you know, someone had a couple tiny little paintings those sold, but that was about it. But still, I don't regret doing it. It was fun, and you know, I did 3 paintings total. One of them was it was a 10 by 20, so it was a panoramic view, and I framed it, and felt real good about that one. Threw a couple people in it. All right, I'm looking here close, and there's little dark spots underneath him too. I may even put in a little transparent red oxide, get some warms in there. All right, my brushes are Rosemary and Company for the most part. They come out of the UK, very nice if you're not familiar. I've also been using some of the Gamsol solvent-free gel lately, and enjoying it. All right, so I think what we'll do, we're going to put in the darkest darks that I see first. This is you can probably tell, some of the transparent red oxide and some blue. And I'm using, as you can see, a pretty large brush, and I'm painting with my hand across it. I'm not doing this. I'm painting, I'm not drawing, so we'll try to stay back. And we won't use it, you know, I'm sure we'll switch to a smaller brush at some point, but let me get a little more of this gel in here. you know, when you mix these piles, you can mix them back and forth, you know, come up with something in between the two colors too. You know, at this point we're just really blocking him in, and just having the fun. I pulled this down when I flipped him over. It felt like it needed to be, that he needed to be longer. We'll see. I'm not sure. Seems a little long now to me now that I've done it, but I'm just jumping back and forth between these different colors I've mixed up. Over here he's very light. You know, we may even get some palette knife in there if we think it will help. Got a mess in here right now. I'm gessoing canvases, so they're laying everywhere for that workshop in October. And then working on the dog commission. He started him last night. I'm probably not doing it on camera. I never know, you know, when it's a gift, I don't want to take a chance on somebody knowing what I'm doing. Then I got another dog commission drying right there. So all kinds of stuff going on. It's all good. I'm going to zoom in on this little head. The little beak's going to be a little bit tricky. It's orange and pink, and you know, hopefully we can explain it okay. Let me get a little bit of that gel in here. I am kind of enjoying that. You know, that's new for me. It does make the paint move around easier for sure. He's funny, isn't he? Just all. All right, I'm going to take my little liner brush and just take some ultramarine and transparent red oxide, which is a really dark, and put some eyes in there. Okay, now let's zoom in on this beak. And I'm just going to try to paint what I see. There's a dark on the edge here. Actually, the whole thing is almost kind of outlined. More orange on that side. Again, I'm trying to observe and not, tell myself I know what it looks like. I don't know what it looks like. Mixing up kind of a purple color. I see that like underneath, right in here. I got a few photos this weekend of, I should have ran down this one guy. He was in the coolest costume. But I got this one, let me show you this great photo of these two men. Here, let me show you. Look at this. Isn't that wonderful? They were there at that village. And this guy, look at him. These are live photos, so if I put my finger on it, they move. Isn't he cool? Yeah, I should have ran him down and got some more photos of him. But the time period is, I think, supposed to be about 200 years ago. But they had something with the Daughters of the Revolution going on. Okay, the bridge of his nose is pretty light and kind of pink, so I'm trying to get light enough. Bridge of his nose, beak. I feel like the eyes should be bigger. We can always change it, though we're not worried about it. And the legs are, just a real true orange. So we'll just take some cad red light and some yellow. And the one where the both of them together that I showed you is pretty cute too, and you can see their feet, So let's, we got him blocked in. I'm going to wash my brush a little bit, and we'll block in the background, which is green. And I think we'll start off and make a dark transparent green. Transparent ultramarine blue and Indian yellow. a very dark green, and we'll take a little bit of that and I'm going to put a little bit of my solvent in that. I'm enjoying that. This makes it a transparent green, so you can push it around and thin it out. So we're just going to play around. Back behind him, I'd like it to be a little cooler. I want it to recede. So but you could do whatever you wanted. I mean, if you had a cute image of an animal and you wanted to, you could create your background, you know, put a landscape behind him, whatever you wanted. As you can see, I don't mix these very well, so I do most of my mixing with my brush, actually. So we're kind of, you know, not worried about the edges right now. We're just kind of cutting into his head because we're going to be working on those edges. All right, so we'll just throw a little bit here and there. Kind of varying the greens as you can see I'm getting a little more yellow as I come toward us. If it feels too intense for you, you can kill it with some red. And it's even nice, I think, you know, to throw a little orange in there with green especially. I'm a big fan of the series Alone. I don't know if you watched that or not. It just ended for the season. It's on the History Channel. So good. Starts out with 10 people and they put them in a very tough area, usually cold area. They were way up in Canada, and of course winter was coming, and you can take I think it's 10 items with you, but they have to build their own shelter, they have to find their own food, and it's not like a lot of shows. There's no one there filming them. They do all their own filming too, so I believe it's very genuine. I don't think it's staged at all. Main thing is to get the canvas covered, because we'll be I want to suggest foliage and we'll get the canvas cover for now. All right. I think before I go back to the bird, which is what I usually would do, I think we're going to think about the background a little more, because I want to, you know, these feathers that I'm throwing on the edge, I might want them to be the last thing that goes on the canvas, so I got a little chunk in there. So I'm thinking about that, you know. Right here under his leg, it's very light, which that may not work because it might feel too yellow and feel like a part of him. I don't know. Just playing around with the background a little bit before I... All right, let's start looking back at the bird again now. Again, he's got some wonderful rim light on him. And let me start from the top of his head and really look at that. when an object gets really blown out by light, there's a lot of times not a lot of color in it. Might even, let me grab my palette knife. Again, he's wet, so, which I think makes him really, really cute. I want him to look fuzzy. This is not going to work. See that color there? That's distracting. Okay. On the very edge of his leg, he's catching some light. And on the edge of that leg. Sometimes, I don't know if you've heard it, where the brightest area meets the shadow sometimes is the purest and richest color. I've heard it called the bedbug line. Have you ever heard that? Some artists call it that. So that's what I'm kind of doing on that edge where we go into shadow. I'm putting some nice pure color. I'm looking at the placement of his eyes, making sure I got that right. You know, and you can pick and pick and pick at this grass, which I may do a lot more of that later. I may not bore you with that, but another thing you can do is scratch into it. If I'd had an orange wash on it, let me locate it. I have a tool that I've showed you before. It's like a rubber palette knife. I have a couple of them. This one is my favorite. This is Catalyst by Princeton, and you can actually paint with it. It's very flexible and fun. But if you had an orange wash on here, you know, you could come in here and cut through this, which I can anyway, you know. Decide what you want for texture, if you want texture. I want to keep that darker there. Just so funny, isn't he, with wings all spread out like that? Look at that nose, that beak one more time. It looks like it's really, really catching some light, so may not have it light enough. And the eyes are kind of on the side of the head. You really can't really see anything going on. If you like to work with palette knife, you know, he'd be fun. The whole guy would be fun, wouldn't he? Painted with a palette knife. All right, we're gonna maybe quit there. I feel like that's a little light up there. Frankenstein, right, with his arms out. All right, let me get up and show him to you. There he is. Zoom in on him close as I can. I'll see what I think of him. You know, it's definitely, it's adorable, the picture. Whether I love it as a painting, I'm not sure. But I wanted to try him. Not sure. I'll look at him for a while and decide whether he's a keeper. If not, we'll scrape him off and paint something else on there. Never a loss. It's always fun. All right, like and subscribe, and thank you so much for joining me. All right, catch you soon.